I am no psychologist, but it's a fact that we all have had to go through or are currently going through moments where we don't feel content with how things are. The things that we want and plan in life don't go the way we want and plan. Obviously, you know already what life is like. I mean, you clicked on this video. I don't have to tell you how life is. Life can have lots of, how should I describe it? Canon events, situations that can alter your way of life or experience of it pretty seriously. I, of course, like anyone, have personally had some of these moments. This is what's been helping me to get through those tougher times. It really shifted my mindset to have a whole new perspective on things. So hopefully these things will also be able to help you. Here are 4 things you probably need to hear if you are unhappy. 1. By what standards are you measuring yourself? This sounds pretty vague, so let me give you an example. I played soccer for 13 years. So most of my life, come to hopefully playing in college. I ended up just going to the local community college. Nothing wrong with it. I had fun and it was still a great experience, but my ego was still hurt. I felt like I should be playing at a higher level, and then I kept getting injured at the start of each season, which would lead to me not being fit, and I struggled to consistently start. I wasn't getting the playtime I had imagined, especially during the second season when I finally got over my injuries. Anyone that has played a sport and had to ride the bench for a little bit knows how lame, kind of embarrassing sometimes, and disappointing it can be. I wasn't happy. Come to realize, I was defining a good amount of my happiness on whether how much I was playing and how well I was playing. And since I wasn't playing, I felt like a failure. So of course I wasn't happy. Moving on to the possibilities of possibly playing another 2 years at a new school by transferring, I realized that overall, I just didn't have the desire to play anymore like I used to. Plus, I just didn't have any interest in continuing to go to school, at least for now. I felt lost. I was unsure of what to do now because soccer had been a part of me and what I did for so long. But after doing some processing and discovering, I redefined how I've been measuring myself. Instead of measuring my worth through soccer, now I measure it based on doing things that will lead to my goals. Now I'm much more fulfilled by going to the gym instead and working towards the unlikely goal of becoming a YouTuber, to list a couple. So reflect now on what you value. We all have a game that we play in our heads, a set of rules that we set up for ourselves that mean something to us. But 1, we don't realize that we're playing the game in our heads. And 2, we don't realize we can change the rules of how we measure ourselves. What are the values that you prioritize above everything else that influences the choices that you make the most? Have you been measuring yourself by comparing yourself to someone that you know from high school, that you see on Instagram, looking for validation from others and haven't been receiving it, how others perceive you, valuing money or lack of above all else? Bad values consist of being superstitious, socially destructive, and not immediate or controllable. Good ones are reality-based, socially constructive, and immediate and controllable. Instead of depending on others to give you validation, you can work on cultivating self-validation. Focus on gaining the ability to navigate life with a steadfast belief in your capabilities, irrespective of external validation. If it's comparing yourself to others, reframe your social media feed or spend less time on it, and learn more to compare yourself to your past self, the you yesterday, because then you are actually in control of it and you can do something about it. Whatever bad value it might be, do some searching, research it, determine what the exact opposite of it is, then act and do accordingly. 2, everything that happens to you isn't your fault, but it's your responsibility. Maybe you live in Florida where hurricanes happen. A category 4 hurricane is coming straight on course for your house, so you've got to prepare for the worst and find safe shelter somewhere. Is it your fault? No. Do you have to do something about it? If you don't want to die, I don't know, actually, maybe. Florida people are pretty crazy. Sorry if you're from Florida, but there's plenty of evidence and articles. That's just the way that life goes. Whatever life has been throwing at you, whether it's hurricanes, running out of toilet paper, or someone just kind of rubs off on you the wrong way, and you can see their bad intentions, and they're an idiot who you despise because they can f*** off, or you know what, yeah, they can just f*** off, but it still affects us. So we have to do something about it, because at the end of the day, the results affect you. So whatever life gives you, you are responsible for the way you respond. How we choose to respond is entirely in our control. In fact, it's the only thing that we can control, even if we literally had no part in it forming into a problem for us. So take whatever you may be facing on the chin and make the appropriate and best response to work at it and solve it. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. 3. Next time you're at a social setting, put laxatives in the drinks at the drink station, lock the bathroom, and enjoy the show. 4. Everything is gonna be okay. I'm just a dude behind a camera on your screen. I have no clue what you might be fighting and dealing with. I'm not just gonna spew about how you should overcome adversity and you got this and this is just how life is. All the motivational stuff, yada yada, because that's not realistic. The thing that you could be going through could be so bad that honestly, if you told me maybe I couldn't even comprehend it. After all, life will beat you down so hard sometimes that you feel like you don't even want to try anymore and throw in the towel. Whatever your situation may be, times like these can be very discouraging. Think about how much effort and how far you've come to already get to this point where you are now. Maybe that looks harder, or maybe that looks easier than what you're dealing with right now. I don't know. But you got to this point because of your resilience to keep going. You've persevered before, but you might not see yourself doing it now. Looking back personally on my most difficult moments, when I look back on them, I know that they helped me realize that we take the better times for granted. It's like those days when you have a stuffy nose and you realize how much you took breathing, especially when you're trying to sleep, for granted. The agonizing moments that you're going through today will make those euphoric moments and times that much more meaningful. Our toughest problems that we face, whatever it may look like, how patient and persistent you have to be in order to stay on the grind, you're gonna figure it out. You have before, and you're in the process of figuring it out right now. And when you look back on those most difficult moments, you're gonna be thankful for moments like these. You won't regret it, because these times shape you, teach you, and make you more resilient. Know that it's going to be okay. You will be able to make it through this. Even if you're not okay, that's okay. Give yourself the grace to know it's okay to not truly be okay. You're working on it, and that's what matters. You're gonna be okay. I hope that this video helped you. If you found this video helpful and you would like to see much more content like this, please consider subscribing and liking this video. I seriously appreciate you considering. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Focus on doing the best you can today and strive for progress.